All right, everybody, this is going to be a bit of a shorter live. This is more of an informational live video, but I wanted to talk about the Robinhood Gold Credit Card. This thing, honestly, is a bit of a game changer. And you know me, I'm a shill for Robinhood. I know that there was a lot of controversy with the Robinhood brokerage account. One of the big controversies was the pay for order flow that everybody keeps talking, and the GameStop one. So here's the thing: most brokerages, by the way, do pay for order flow, whatever the frick that terminology is called. So it's not like an uncommon practice. And by the way, how the hell is Robinhood going to make any money if they're not charging you a commission fee? So you guys got to think about that. They are making money off idiots trading crypto, though. So as long as they make money from idiots trading crypto, I don't really care. I think crypto's dumb. Me personally, Vlad Tenev and I, it's funny. Every mentor I have, no matter how much I love them, there's always one glaring thing that I just can't agree with them on. For example, Robert Kiyosaki and Vlad Tenev. I like both of these guys, by the way, but they're both crypto bros, and it makes me sick. But anyway, we got to get back to the subject. The Robinhood Gold Credit Card. Now, here's the thing. You can't just apply for this credit card like a normal credit card. You do have to be a Robinhood Gold member, so you got to keep that in mind. One moment. Got to put a comment in the live chat. Anyway, so what I really want to talk about, though, is Robinhood Gold Credit Card and how it can be utilized in many good ways. So I've had it for over 2 weeks now, and I put it into my Google Wallet first. That was the first thing I did. The second thing I did was I waited for the actual card to come in the mail. And so now I have the card on me. I'm not going to show it just because, even though it has no card number on there, I still don't like to show too much of my cards, just because you never know. I don't know what methods people have for figuring out my card info. But I will say this, though. The Robinhood Gold Credit Card is impressive. It is amazing. I'm really glad I have it. It might be the best credit card decision I've ever made. I don't say that lightly either. First off, I got to admit, by default, I am a huge fan of the Robinhood platform. I'm going to admit that now. Huge fan. But I'm also going to admit something else. It has 3% cashback rewards on every purchase. Now, there are limits. For example, like you can't get 3% cashback when you pay your rent. You can't get 3% cashback when you pay your taxes. However, I actually set up all my auto pays to go through all the auto pays that I have set up for all my different accounts, whether it's my auto insurance, whether it's my internet. I am making it to where they're all going through the Robinhood Gold Credit Card because I want to have 3% cashback rewards for every transaction. It's really important to me. I'm still going to obviously keep my Venmo credit card because it does give you 3% cash back on your top spend category. The only reason I keep these cards is backup. So, like, let's say Robinhood decides to be a bunch of dicks. And then they're like, you know what? No more 3% cash back. We're going to go 2%. And you're just sitting there like, okay, fine, whatever. Jack's Cab Confessions is in the chat saying, I'm here because I hate BTC. Absolutely. Everybody should. BTC is awful. No, but I will tell you this, though. Overall, with Robinhood, I'm a huge fan of the brokerage account, but I want to tell you a few things. So the card is very durable. It's very metal. Like it's tough to, you still can break it, obviously, but it's a metal card, which makes me feel very fancy, by the way. But I was on a wait list to get this, and so this video is for people, one, if you want to have the potential to get access to this card, join the wait list. Second, there is no annual fee. I mean, the only real annual fee is the Robinhood Gold membership, but I was already a member, and that's okay. Totally fine with that because I'm, like I said, a huge Robinhood fan, and I think it's a great brokerage. I fluctuate between Robinhood and Charles Schwab. I like both of them, if I'm going to be honest. It's great though, man. I really do enjoy this. When you on the square. All right. Okay. But the other, so let's see. Jazzcat Confession says, "Dude, pull the card out and kiss it." No, I'm not gonna do that. I will. I will describe though. It's a golden card. It's made of metal. It's really nice. It's pretty. Like I said, very very durable. It's one of the more durable cards out there, and it comes with its own credit card app. Like there's an actual app specifically for the credit card, so you don't have to. You don't have to use it in the Robinhood app itself. You can actually use it in a separate application they developed specifically for the credit card. And it's really neat. You can use the physical version of the card. You can add it to your Google Wallet or your Apple Pay or your Samsung Wallet. Whatever the heck wallet, digital wallet you use, it's compatible, which is really neat. Yeah, I'm just a huge fan of it. One of the reasons I wanted to make this live video is to talk about the cashback reward aspect of all this. So with the cashback rewards, here's the benefit that you get. 3% cashback for every purchase, except for there are very few exceptions. There's not many, a very small amount of exceptions, I should say. You know, like rent and taxes, stuff like that. But other than that, every other category is fair game. It doesn't matter whether you're paying your cell phone bill, as far as I know. It doesn't matter whether you're paying your internet bill. It doesn't even matter if you're paying your car insurance bill. If you're paying something with the card, like I said, some small exceptions, rent and taxes, for example. It's really neat, man. It's really cool. So if you guys have the Robinhood brokerage, feel free to join the waitlist. And now if you're anti-credit card, I get it. Not everybody's a fan of credit cards. I actually treat my credit cards exactly like a debit card. I always check my bank account right before using the credit card. But the only reason I use credit cards is, one, I like to build my credit. And credit cards are actually a good way to build credit if you're intelligent about it and use them like debit cards. Do not spend money you don't have, because you don't know if you're going to get that money. The whole point of the credit card, annual fee, by the way, Jack's Cab, I just want to interrupt. Jack's Cab on the live chat says, what's the annual fee? Annual fee is actually $0. However, you do have to have a Robinhood Gold subscription to be able to have this card. So that's a big deal. So I guess in a sense, you do have to pay an annual fee. But I was already paying the $50 every year for Robinhood Gold. But I want to say there's a bit of a hack for that. So Robinhood, if you have the gold membership, gives you $1,000 in interest-free margin, right? And then after $1,000 in margin, it's, you get an interest charge every month. And that's fine. But my trick to that is I ended up getting quite a few ETFs, that pay a decent yield. And yeah, some dividend-based ETFs, international ones, US ones, you name it. And the dividends that I get end up paying for the subscription itself. So in a lot of ways, the subscription's already paid for the Robinhood Gold part of it, just by me using the $1,000 in borrowed money to get into high-quality dividend stocks with it. So it's a win-win situation there. I don't recommend using a ton of margin. In fact, if anything, you should cap your margin on how much you use, because I think it's a bad idea to use all your margin, man. It's a very dangerous game to use all your margin. I only use a very small fraction. I use basically just enough margin, is what I like to say. But yeah, the annual fee is not bad, man. It's just, I think what it boils down to is like the annual fee is how small is it, man? Well, I mean, I know it's a $0 annual fee for the card itself, but that's the kind of the trick. That's kind of the hang up. You have to have a Robinhood Gold subscription, which in a sense, you're still paying the money. But hey, like I said, that borrowed money that I have, I just basically got dividend paying ETFs. Those pretty much pay for the entirety of the subscription per month. So it's free for me because I played it out intelligently and I have investments as a result. Save your assets, not your money, because money's worthless anyway. Here's the thing. I say use cash to buy assets, save those assets, and don't sell them, especially if they're productive assets. If they're paying you a dividend, that's good. Now, I do have exceptions. I have leveraged ETFs that I like to swing trade. Only two, SBIT and the Biddy, because I don't believe in Bitcoin. I believe Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme, so I like to bet against it. Jack's Cab Confessions does have a comment, and he's trashing Vlad Tenev, but I'm going to read it. No, I think that Vlad is a little grifty sometimes because he's about crypto. Let's see. The consumer support for Robinhood is subpar, in my opinion, says Jack's Cab Confessions. Well, to that, I've never really had to. I think I've dealt with their live chat support maybe like one time. But it's a fairly automated process. It's not like I've never really had to reach out to Robinhood. I'm pretty smart about things. I got two-factor authentication set up on it. I've got my backup codes for that. What else do I have? I also have like two devices that have the two-factor authentication codes and stuff like that. So it's a win-win situation either way. But yeah, I was going to say, like, I don't know much about the customer support for Robinhood, if I'm going to be honest. No clue. No clue if it's good or not. I've never really had to deal with them now that I think about it. But yeah, a lot of the processes are pretty automated. As long as you keep your account very secure and you keep all your devices very secure. I keep my devices like frickin' Fort Knox. I have firewalls. I've got antivirus. I use Bitdefender personally because Bitdefender is the tits. That shit is on at all times. I always have Bitdefender on 24/7. But yeah, the Robinhood Gold card is great, and I personally love it. I don't know why anybody wouldn't love it. Like, I don't get that. And the reason I'm so skeptical if anybody doesn't love it is because what's not to love? It might be the greatest of all time. Oh my God. Give me 1 second, folks. Trying to get the proper metadata in this stuff. Well, you and me, we can ride on a star. If you stay with me, girl, we can rule the world. You guys ever listen to Take That? It's a really, they're a really good band. Jazzcab is asking, how long were you on the waiting list? Honestly, I signed up quite a while ago, and I want to say 6 months ago, but it might have been longer than 6 months. I remember I signed up, and I completely forgot about it until I got an email saying, hey, you're off the wait list. Do you want your freaking Robinhood credit card? And I was like, heck yeah, I'm signing up for this. Signed up. Got a great credit limit. So I plan on making that the only credit card I use pretty much. I'm still going to use my other credit cards periodically because, you got to use them every now and then just to make sure they stay active and stuff. And you don't want to hurt the best thing I could do is try to avoid hurting my credit card history. So it's good to have the cards that I've had the longest not close. But I really don't care that much about my credit score, if we're going to be honest. I make all my payments on time. My credit history is pretty solid. It's there, and I've got an excellent credit score. And mainly because I don't believe in holding any credit card debt. I just don't. I think it's a bad idea. The interest rates are way too high for me to handle that shit, and I don't believe in it, man. I think it's a waste of freaking money, and I think you should be smart and look at how much money you got in the bank account before you start going willy-nilly and buying crap, you know. I work to invest, you know, not to work. Because some people work to just keep working, you know what I mean? And what I mean by that is they're so stupid with their money. Like, they literally do the dumbest things with their money. They're buying all sorts of crap, and it's just, you don't need it. You don't need that at all. But yeah, I was on the waiting list for a little bit, and now I'm not. So I'm pretty happy about it. At the end of the day, I like the Robinhood Gold Credit Card. The fact that I get 3% cash back on everything, it's gonna be my go-to card. Groceries. I'm probably okay. So I tried getting it on I tried adding it to my Chevron app. That was weird because it was giving me like all these errors and stuff. I think the Chevron app kind of sucks sometimes, so I'll have to try re-adding it again later. Maybe I just got to close out of the app or something like that. But or maybe remove one of the cards on there. I don't know. Maybe it's got too many cards on there. It's probably the case. I think there's a limit to how many cards I could probably store on it. But yeah, it's solid. Yeah, I probably just use my Amex Everyday card is the one I'll probably use to keep the 3% cash back going. At least I think that would be the smartest move. What do you guys think? Oh my god. Yes, yes. Well, you and me, we can ride on a star. If you stay with me, girl, we can rule the world. Let's see here. So overall, one of the big things that I want to talk about here, kind of like we're getting towards the finale of this live video. The biggest thing for me was that I could take those the cashback rewards I get from the 3% cashback, I can actually use that money and dump it into my brokerage account. Isn't that insane? So that means whenever I go shopping, I've got extra money coming back to me that I can place into my brokerage account at any time I want. And just boop, slide it over. It's in my brokerage account, pays for any margin that I owe. Or I should say it reduces my margin amount. But I don't really use that much margin, so it's not a big deal. There's just so many things. So many cool things, by the way. And I'm excited about all this. I really am. You guys think I'm overhyping this, though? What do you guys think? I mean, like, honestly, I think it's one of the better products. Just believe that. It's the best credit card on the market. I mean, 3% minimum on any purchase except for the obvious, taxes and rent. Or probably your mortgage. I don't know. Maybe you could use it to pay your mortgage. I don't know if it's a good idea to actually use a credit card to pay the mortgage, but it's whatever. It's great, though, being able to have the cashback rewards go into, having access to them in the app and then taking those and throwing them into my brokerage account. And I can use that money to invest in whatever I want. Or I can just let it sit and there's 4% APY, basically 4% interest I get every year on invested cash. I'm just going to... Here's the thing. I don't believe in that anyway. I don't believe in letting my cash sit. I believe in just getting into ETFs or individual companies, anything I can get into, really. The goal is to keep diversifying my positions, get into more REITs. I'm a big fan of real estate investment trust, though, you guys. Like, I really am. So, I can't help it, man. and I can't help myself. But yeah, no, the great thing about this is that I could just, you know, Jack's Cab Confession says my mortgage cannot be paid with a credit card. It's a law in California. Oh, Jack's Cab, I had no clue. Damn, man. I didn't know they were that strict in California. I don't even know if it's a thing. Maybe it's illegal in Oregon too. I mean, if I had a mortgage and I had to pay it every month and they didn't charge me a crazy fee for using a cashback reward credit card and I could get cash back on it, sure, I'd pay with a credit card. Then I just pay off the credit card very quickly. See, I pay off my cards every 2 weeks or sometimes even a week. If there's a little like a minimal balance and I don't plan on using the card for a while again anyway, I'll just pay that sucker off and let the balance sit at zero. So many people, and this is probably the worst advice I've ever heard, I hate it when people tell me that I need to have some sort of a balance on my credit card. No, you don't. That's probably the biggest myth, and I hate it when people say that. I have a zero balance on just about every single credit card I have. I've got about 8 or 9 credit cards. I keep the majority of them in a safe. I don't even have access to them at this point. I do put them in my Google Wallet, so that way if I get like a warning message from the credit card company saying, you better use your card or we're going to deactivate, I'll be like, okay, well, I got to go buy some stuff anyway. So I'll go use it and maybe buy something small, go to the convenience store, buy something I was going to buy anyway, like some soda or, what have you. Speaking of soda, I actually do need to restock on some sodas now that I think about it. I might actually head out here in just a few moments. Might go to grocery outlet and try to stock up on a few things. Actually, now that I think about it, I probably should stock up on like some pomegranate juice and stuff. So honestly, it's a good thing that we're talking about this now. I guess if there's any, actually I got to check out when grocery outlet in my local area closes. Hold on. Let's see. Grocery outlet North Bend. Yeah, like no joke, grocery outlet is pretty much the place that I go. It's not just pretty much, it's virtually the only place I go to shop. They're open until, they close at 9. Nice. Okay. So yeah, they're going to be open for a while, but I'm going to probably head out here in a bit. But like I said, the main thing I want to see, grocery outlet closed at 9. Thank you, Jack Tab. I just read your chat. Sorry about that, man. Yeah. But yeah, no, overall, the best part about this is that, and I actually started putting a minimal amount because so I'm going to start talking a little off the radar. So I'm going to try to make this make sense. Okay. I've been putting $20 bi-weekly into my brokerage account. It's very small. I'll admit that. So every 2 weeks, $20 goes from my checking account to my brokerage account. Now, this is great because I have a lot of the money that I get, a lot of the income, a lot of the things that fund my portfolio are the assets in my portfolio. So I get a lot of dividends every month, a lot. So I take those dividends and I reinvest those. Not in the same thing. I usually just find some other ETF that I don't have and I'm like, oh, it's a good ETF. It's got good companies in it, or it's really, really diversified, blah, blah, blah. I'll be like, okay. If it's diversified and it's basically an index ETF and it's got a low expense ratio, oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I'm getting into this. And, yeah. What else do I want to say about it? If there's anything at all. Yeah, I got nothing else I really want to add. But yeah, the cashback rewards, just being able to, because I have my car insurance payments coming up because I pay I pay 6 months in advance, so it's kind of a chunk. So the cashback rewards I get from that, I'm just going to throw all those rewards, and also for my cable internet bill, I'm going to throw those rewards into my brokerage account. And then the beauty is, the brokerage account pretty much funds itself at this point. So anytime I have to buy stuff like groceries or pay bills, it's all going to be done on my Robinhood card. 3% cash back. I'll take that optimal 3% cash back that I get back, whatever that amount is, the amounts, and I'll throw it into my Robinhood brokerage and just invest like a good little boy. I just got to invest, man. That's the thing. I work to invest, and I invest. I wouldn't say not to work, because I enjoy working. I'm a workaholic. But I invest. I work to invest, and I invest to have income. I invest to have income coming at me that I don't have to worry about. I don't have to think about. I don't have to work for it. Now, don't get me wrong. I enjoy working. I am, by all definition, a workaholic. I don't like working for managers, which is why I love DoorDash so much. Because DoorDash, I just do what I mean, I still obviously have protocols and stuff like that, but I'm working for the consumer directly. My goal is to provide a service for the consumer, just like this YouTube channel. My YouTube channel, I provide a service. And also what's great is I do make money. Passively now from my YouTube channel. So I'm really trying to make it more informational, but also I'm still trying to keep my weird sense of humor. I don't want to get rid of it. I also want to sound like Chris Hansen every now and then when I have sketchy people like Jack's Cab Confessions. I'm just kidding. You're not sketchy, Jax. You're the man. But Jack's Cab says, Garza, your content rocks. Have a great night, sir. Thank you, bud. I appreciate it. I'm trying to keep it rock and roll. Trying to make sure everybody's good, trying to really help people at the end of the day. But yeah, no, at the end of the day, though, I gotta stop saying at the end of the day. That's something I say way too much. I sound like a bloody grifter. What I'm trying to say is this. The goal is to be able to have hashtag Mussy. Jack's Cab Confessions is saying hashtag Mussy. You got to make that trend one of these days. We got to make that trend on Twitter, though. The Mussy crew, all right? But overall, we're all trying here. We're all seeing what we can do. We're all trying. We're all crying. We're all seeing what we can pull off. I'm actually, it's funny, from my location, I'm actually in between both of the grocery outlet locations by all technicality. Virtually. They're virtually both the same distance, only by like 0.1 miles from me. So it's really, one way or another, if I drive to the grocery outlet in Empire, or if I go to the grocery outlet in North Bend, it's virtually the same mileage. That's wild, man. That's wild. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying doing this show. I'm very lucky. I worked my ass off, though. There's always a mixture of luck, but I will say that the best luck you can create and this is going to sound cheesy, but it's hard work and smart work at the same time. You got to be thinking. Right? You got to imagine what the finish line looks like. You got to imagine what you want your life to be first. But you can't just stay in imagination land. You got to have the vision first. And then once you have a concrete vision in your head, you just take as much action as you can. By the way, you can never take too much action. Just going to tell you that right now. You can never take too much. People say, you're overdoing it, you're overworking. It's like, if I'm working towards a goal, it ain't work to me. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It matters to me. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I'm a grifter. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I really have fun doing these videos. And like I said, key takeaways. Use the cashback rewards. Put it into your Robinhood brokerage account. That's awesome. You can take that money, invest it, boom, and then obviously, pay off your credit card every 2 weeks. It's my golden rule. If it has interest, pay it off every 2 weeks. If it has no interest, like my Amazon credit card, I just pay whatever I need to pay because there's 0% interest on a high ticket item that I need to purchase. So boom. What else do I need to let you guys know? It's gotten to the point where I don't even have to put in my own money because I only put in basically $40 a month of my own money into my brokerage account. But I get so much in dividend payments every month that I take the combination of the money I put in and the dividends and just put it into other investments. And then those investments, in turn, pay me a dividend. Dividend snowball effect takes effect. Now, I'm not obviously I'm into everything. I've got S&P 500 ETFs. I've got, ETFs that focus on dividend aristocrats, ETFs that focus on blah, 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 real estate, investment trust, you name it. It's all over the place. But it works. And that's the most important thing is the process works for me. I'm diversified. I got income from my investments. And yeah, I get taxed on dividends, sure. But I'm reinvesting those dividends. And yeah, if I have to pay tax, I have to pay taxes. Big deal. And I'm being smart about my tax write-offs too, by the way. I'm not giving tax advice or anything, but whenever I go out and I make content, I write that off. I write that off as mileage. And then that way it's less money I got to get taxed on. So it's a win-win situation. I write my miles off for everything. I use Everlance preferably because it's just a simple mile tracker. And I love Everlance, man. It's the tits. It really is the best. So track those miles, bro. Track those miles. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to view this. I hope you found it educational. I hope that if you have Robinhood Gold or if you maybe want to get into it, I say get Robinhood anyway. Even if you don't get the credit card, get the Robinhood brokerage account. Obviously, it's not financial advice or anything like that. Nothing of the sort. But what I'm trying to say is, if you don't have a brokerage account, get a brokerage account, man. Invest. Save your assets, man. Save those assets, not your money. Money's I don't even call cash money. I shouldn't, at least. Money is assets. Cash is just worthless. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. I realized because I am going to be having a little bit of plans during the Labor Day weekend, I need to get some things. So, not going to spend too much money or anything, but I do got to get some things.